If your Google local service ads aren't performing or you're getting 0 views or they're just not working, I'm going to give you 6 things that you can do to get them going in the right direction. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Michael Tandridge. I've built a 7-figure marketing agency and now I'm buying businesses and scaling them with those marketing strategies. I also give away marketing strategies for free here on my YouTube channel and through my weekly newsletter called The Midweek Marketer. If you'd like to sign up for that, click the link in the description below. Okay, let's talk Google local service ads. We run a ton of Google local service ads for our clients and for my other businesses, and they work really, really well. When they're not working, they don't perform, you get 0 calls, 0 views, and you just are racking your brain to try and figure out why your Google local service ads aren't working. I'm gonna give you 6 things that you can do to get your Google local service ads turning back in the right direction. Number 6 is the one that almost always fixes it for our clients or our businesses, so stick around for that. Now, for those of you who don't know what Google local service ads are, Google local service ads are basically you pay for leads that come in for your local service businesses. It's ad campaigns that only work for certain businesses in certain areas, and they show up above everything else in Google searches. And when they work really, really well because you're just paying for the leads. You're not paying for leads that are basically not going to be leads. So anyone looking for a job or just kind of prank calling you or whatever, you can dispute that and get money back with Google. I will say this, at the top of the page on Google, Google local service ads only takes up 2 or maybe even 3 spots, and that's it. Otherwise, people have to click into it and to see the other businesses. So there's really only 2 spots that you're vying for and to possibly get in. And if there's like 20 to 30 or 40 businesses in the area and they're all trying to get in those first 2 spots, there's a good chance that you're not going to get in those first 2 spots unless you do these 6 things. Okay, the first one is budget. Google local service ads is a lot different than other ad platforms because when you set your budget, you're not setting it in the aspect of this is how much I'm definitely going to spend. If you're running Google search ads or Facebook ads, you set a budget and it spends pretty much all of that money. So you set a budget of $30 a day and it pretty much spends $30 a day. However, with Google local service ads, you're setting a budget, then it's basically comparing that budget to all your competitors and then ranking basing off of that and a couple other factors. And then it's going to charge you per lead. So the point is that I always try to get the budget as high as possible. Most of my clients and businesses are running Google local service ads at $6,000 to $30,000 plus a week to get in those first 2 spots. But that's just the budget that we set. What's actually being spent every single month is about $2 to $3 grand. The point is that budget that you're setting is really just to say, hey Google, I'm willing to go up to this and put me in those first 2 spots. It's not actually going to spend all of that money because there's only X amount of leads that are going to be clicking on your ads every single month, right? So for a specific search term, there might only be 10 people that are actually going to click an ad on that and you get all 10. That's great, but Google's not going to charge you more when there aren't people clicking on it. That's what happens with Google search ads, but not with Google local service ads. So the budgeting piece really just comes down to the fact that you're just trying to showcase to Google, hey, I'm willing to spend a ton of money, put me above my competitors. Okay, the second thing you should adjust with your Google local service ads is images. This isn't a huge play, but it's part of the factor when it comes to Google local service ads is they want to see how many images of your services, of your team, of your vans, all that kind of stuff. They want to see as many images as possible. So always be updating and putting in new images in your Google local services profile. Okay, number 3 to fix your Google local service ads not working or not performing is reviews. Reviews play a huge factor in your Google local service ads. Google wants to see that people are finding your business and really enjoy working with you. Then they'll push your brand and your business higher than everyone else. So make sure once you're done servicing a client, you are getting a review from that client. The point is again, you want to show Google that people are enjoying working with you and it's going to push you higher than your competitors. Now, if you just went out and got 10 new reviews this week, is that automatically going to push your Google local service ads higher than everyone else? No, it's not. It's just one piece in the pie of getting you to rank higher. But it's an important piece because, like I said, Google wants to see that you're a good company to work with. All right, number 4 is your calls. This is, I would say, one of the biggest factors when it comes to Google local service ads. You need to be picking up every single call that is coming through. Google's not going to put you in that first spot and give you the opportunity, and then their customers click your ad and then you don't pick up the phone. Google's gonna say, these guys don't pick up the phone, they're bad representation of Google and our ad platform. Let's hide them away and not show them anymore. You need to be picking up every single call that comes in and picking it up quickly. So on the first ring, pick it up. I'll give you 2 examples. I have one client where they get 30 to 40 leads every single month through Google Local Service Ads. They are locked into that first spot. They have a 98% search impression share. They're like at the top every single time. And the reason is they pick up every single call and they're absolutely just crushing it with Google Local Service Ads. To give you another example, I literally have a client that I just had a meeting with yesterday where they are only picking up 35% of their calls. Google is seeing that and is giving them less leads on Google Local Service Ads. It was something huge that we were talking about. But the point is that his team members, he has 2 salespeople, aren't picking up the phone calls. That's something that he needs to figure out with his sales team. But the point is he needs them to be picking up every single call, or he needs to be shifting them out, because if not, Google Local Service Ads is going to fail. And once that fails and drops off, it's very, very, very difficult to get into that first or second spot, because Google's already kind of given you a one shot and you failed, you lost it. And they're really not going to give you another opportunity once that happens. So super, super important to pick up every single call. Same goes with messages. Messages are kind of finicky on Google Local Service Ads, but responding right away is another factor in ranking in that first or second spot with Google Local Service Ads. Okay, number 5 is location. Location. So let's say you service a high density city and there's a ton of competitors in that city, but you also service the suburbs and there's less competitors out there. What you want to do to start getting good traction with Google Local Service Ads is don't target the city, but target the suburbs area where there's less competitors. The point is it's going to be easier for you to rank in that first or second spot and get some good calls under your belt, get some good credit with Google basically, and get them to be promoting your business on Google Local Service Ads. You're building that authority with them, and then you could start inching back into the city part and beating out those other bigger competitors that have that authority already. So if your Google Local Service Ads aren't working, or they're not performing, or you're getting 0 views, try changing out the locations a bit to less competitive areas and focus on getting those calls dialed in, getting reviews, and then you'll rank in those first or second spots more often. You'll see the calls start to pick up, and then you can push more into those city areas. Okay, number 6, and this is the big one. I'm actually going to give you a bonus 7th one, but number 6 is the one that changes and turns around most accounts for Google Local Service Ads that aren't performing, aren't getting reviews for our clients or our businesses, and that is changing your hours. There's a lot of businesses where they just naively go into their Google Local Service Ads and set 9 to 4 or 9 to 5 or 8 to 5, and they don't drag out their ad campaigns further or run them 24/7. Makes sense. Typically their sales team or their call person is only in the office during those times. However, there are after hours call centers that you can hire, or you can pay a team member more money to be on call in those after hours to pick up the phone number. And so let's say that you're in a competitive area and there are 10 competitors. Okay, so these are all your competitors you're going up against with Google Local Services all day. Every single one of them is vying to get in those first 2 spots, right? So these first 2 spots. Here's what happens. At 5 o'clock, all of these guys shut off their ads. And then there's one other person and you that keep your ads on. And guess what? You 2 are in those first 2 spots. What happens is then Google sees this and goes, these guys are willing to pay us 24/7. We're gonna push them in those first 2 spots all day long instead of just in the evenings. And we're finding that they pick up their calls in the evenings and they're still getting really good reviews and they're changing out their images and they're bumping up their budget. Yeah, let's push this guy all the time. I've had multiple clients where their Google Local Service Ads account weren't performing, or they were getting 0 views, and we just flicked it to 24/7, gave a couple suggestions of, hey, these are some call teams that you can hire for after hours, and they are like locked into that first spot, because after a few days or a few weeks of being in that first spot in the evenings and at night, Google just locked them into that first spot all day long. So make sure with your Google local service ads, you're running after hours so you can get those extra people and show Google that you're willing to pay them after hours. Okay, so for a bonus number 7 is your brand authority with Google. What this means is how many of Google's products are you using under the same email address and account that you have your Google local service ads. For example, obviously you have a Google My Business profile set up and you have Google local service ads. But are you running Google search ads? Are you running YouTube ads? Do you have a YouTube channel? Are you using Gmail frequently? There's a lot that goes into it, but Google wants to see that you are using their whole Google suite of products, especially on the advertising side, to be able to push up your local service ads. I always find with our clients, if they're running Google search ads, even if it's just $500 a month or something small, they always get better results on Google local service ads because their local service ads and Google are seeing, hey, they're using search ads, they're using Google local service ads, they're using Google My Business, they've submitted their sitemap for their website. You want to be really getting a good high authority score with Google and utilizing all their products that they have to offer. It's not guaranteeing ranking your Google local service ads, but it's always good to stack more things in your favor when it comes to running Google local service ads. So if your Google local service ads aren't working, they're not performing, you're getting no views, try setting up a higher budget, try changing out your images and stuff, fixing your locations, make sure you pick up every single call, make sure you're getting really good reviews, change your hours to after hours. That's the biggest piece here, is changing to 24/7, even if you have to hire a call team. But I'll say the two biggest things here is setting your calls to 24/7 and picking up every single call. Those two things will get you back on the right track to your Google local service ads account, performing really well and working and bringing in a ton of leads for you. Again, if you'd like to sign up for my newsletter called the Midweek Marketer and get one actual marketing strategy that I'm using with my clients and my businesses, click the link in the description below. Thanks for taking the time to watch the video. You can watch my last one here. If not, I will see you in the next one.